From shady hush money, to missing classified documents, to literally trying to overturn democracy with a phone call, Donald John Trump is no longer running for office. He's running from court dates.
Because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
It began with a microphone, a crowd, and one sentence: "We fight like hell." On January 6, 2021, Donald J. Trump, then the sitting president, stood before thousands and gave what would become the most infamous speech in modern U.S. history. He had spent weeks pushing the lie that the election was stolen, and now he was pointing his supporters directly toward Congress. The result? A violent siege. Over 140 police officers injured. 5 deaths, including Officer Brian Sicknick, who collapsed after being assaulted by rioters. One woman, Ashley Babbitt, was shot dead while attempting to breach the Speaker's lobby. This wasn't a protest. This was an attack on democracy, fueled by falsehoods and power. For 187 minutes, Trump did nothing to stop the chaos. He ignored calls from advisors, lawmakers, even his own daughter. Instead, he watched it unfold on TV. And when he finally spoke, it wasn't to condemn the attackers. It was to tell them, "We love you. You're very special."
You have to go home now. We have to have peace.
Following breaking news in South Florida, where the FBI has searched former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate.
After leaving the White House, Trump didn't just take memories. He took hundreds of classified documents. From nuclear weapons data to foreign military capabilities, some of America's most sensitive secrets were stuffed in boxes and left in bathrooms, ballrooms, and storage closets. And when investigators came asking, he allegedly lied, moved boxes, and told his aides to just say we don't have them. It wasn't just sloppy, it was criminal. Trump was caught on tape admitting he knew the documents were still classified, while showing them off like trophies at a country club. Plus obstruction of justice, plus unlawful concealment, 40 federal counts, national security risk, plus 100+ years federal prison exposure. This wasn't a case of misplaced paperwork. It was a sustained effort to obstruct justice, conceal evidence, and endanger national security, all while insisting it was his right. But when you walk out of the White House, the secrets don't belong to you. They belong to the country.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
After losing the 2020 election, Donald Trump didn't concede. He called Georgia officials and tried to rewrite the vote count. In a now infamous recorded call, he said, "I just want to find 11,780 votes. Not 12,000, not 10,000. He needed exactly what he lost by. That's not a recount. That's a criminal request." Trump was not acting alone. The Georgia indictment includes 18 co-defendants accused of forming a coordinated conspiracy to overturn the state's election results. From fake electors to harassment of poll workers, the case reads more like organized crime than political advocacy. Prosecutors invoked Georgia's RICO law, the same one used against street gangs. Violation of Georgia RICO Act. Solicitation to commit election fraud. 1 recorded call. 18 co-defendants. 20 years maximum per count. The Georgia case is expected to be one of the most difficult to escape. It's backed by audio recordings, text messages, sworn testimony, and an actual statute designed to punish racketeering. In Trump's own words, "There's nothing wrong with saying you recalculated. But when the law says otherwise, that's not recalculating. That's criminal manipulation of an election.
For years, Mr. Cohen has acted like he is above the law. He has considered himself and openly referred to himself as Mr. Trump's fixer. He is played by a different set of rules, or should we say no rules at all. He has never thought that the little man, or especially women, and even more women like me, mattered. That ends now. My attorney and I are committed to making sure that everyone finds out the truth and the facts of what happened, and I give my word that we will not rest until that happens.
It started with a secret, and it ended with a felony. In 2016, during the final weeks of his presidential campaign, Donald Trump paid $130,000 in hush money to adult film actress Stormy Daniels through his fixer, Michael Cohen, to bury a story of an alleged affair. But the real crime wasn't the sex. It was the paperwork. The payment was logged as legal services, but prosecutors proved that was a lie, and the lies were stacked 34 times across Trump's business records. That made it felony fraud under New York state law. And for the first time in U.S. history, a former president was convicted. Plus hush money conspiracy, plus 34 felony counts, convicted in May 2024, facing up to 136 years in prison. Trump's defense claimed it was just a private settlement. The jury saw a calculated cover-up, done to deceive voters and steal an election. This wasn't just dirty politics. It was fraud, it was deliberate, and it now carries 34 felony convictions. Now look, paying off a porn star and lying on business records is wild. But if you think that was bad, wait till you hear how Trump created his own reality, one where he turned a rundown building into a billion-dollar gold mine, on paper. This next one, he didn't just lie to the people, he lied to the banks. And the judge? Oh, he wasn't amused.
Donald Trump has been found guilty of financial fraud. A judge in New York ruled that the former president and his adult sons exaggerated his wealth by billions of dollars for years.
In this civil case brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, Trump was found liable for inflating the value of his assets by billions of dollars. He told banks his apartment was 30,000 square feet. Reality? It was 10,996. He said Mar-a-Lago was worth $739 million. The court valued it at $18 million. Now, I'm not saying exaggeration is illegal, but if you walk into a bank and claim your one-bedroom apartment is Buckingham Palace, you better bring the crown jewels. Why would you do that, man? For lower interest rates? Really? Trump used these fake numbers to secure better loans, better insurance rates, and project a wealth empire that simply didn't exist on paper. The court called it a decade-long fraud and made it crystal clear. Lying to lenders is not just bad business, it's punishable.
Ruled, and he's crooked as you can get.
Misrepresentation to banks, conspiracy to commit insurance fraud, $454 million penalty, barred from business in New York for 3 years, court-appointed monitor over all Trump org finances, bail, $250,000 to appeal, paid. When you lie to the public, that's politics. When you lie to Wall Street, that's paperwork with handcuffs on it. 3 years banned from business, nearly $500 million in fines. That's not just a slap on the wrist. That's a legal foreclosure on fantasy. But if you think financial fraud was cold, wait until you hear what happened when Trump faced a woman he allegedly assaulted and then mocked her for telling the truth. Yeah, that's next.
There is a verdict in the civil trial against Donald Trump. It was filed by writer E. Jean Carroll. She accused the former president of raping her in a department store dressing room back in the 90s.
So, Trump lied to the banks, built a paper empire, and got fined nearly $500 million. But if you think that was the low point, wait till you hear what happened when he was forced to face a woman he mocked, denied, and dragged for years after a jury said he sexually abused her. E. Jean Carroll, a former columnist for Elle magazine, accused Donald Trump of sexually assaulting her in a New York department store in the 1990s. Trump denied it, publicly and repeatedly, calling her a liar, a fraud, and not his type. She sued for sexual battery and defamation, not once, but twice. Now, let me ask you, if someone sues you for assault and a jury says you're liable, why would you go back on TV, crack jokes about it, and say it again? That's like losing the case and then placing a second bet on yourself. In the first trial, the jury found Trump liable for sexual abuse and defamation. He was ordered to pay $5 million. But after he repeated the insults, Carroll sued again, and this time, the court hit back harder. In 2024, a second jury ordered Trump to pay $83.3 million more. Total penalty, $88.3 million. That's not just a bill, that's a consequence. Found liable in 2 trials, total damages $88,300,000. No criminal jail time. Defendant ordered to pay full amount. Public apology demanded, denied. He said she was lying. The court said she was telling the truth, twice. And when the justice system speaks twice in your direction, you don't argue, you pay. So that's $88 million for assault and defamation, and not even a single "I'm sorry." Man, what were you thinking? And that was just one chapter in the courtroom saga of Donald J. Trump. The man who once held the nuclear codes now holds 91 criminal charges, 2 civil convictions, and enough court debt to run a small country. 91 criminal counts, max sentence 256 years, civil penalties $142 million, felony conviction, multiple state and federal trials still ahead. If you thought that was a wild ride through the courtroom, just wait. There's more to come. More trials, more scandals, and more justice. Subscribe to Ink and Chain Courtroom for every twist and turn in the story. Like this video if you think the law's been patient enough. And drop a comment below. Do you think Trump will face the full consequences? Or will his legal team win again? Let's talk.